And now, Dental Bites, with the dental hygienists of Dental Post.
Hey, Tina.
Yes, Samantha.
Okay, so, we're here at Chicago Midwinter.
Yeah.
And one thing that, as you bump into different people, you get to meet people, particularly dentists that are here. One of the main things that I hear is hey, I'm looking for a hygienist. I need a hygienist. I
all
need
the
an
time.
assistant.
All
I
the
need
time.
a front desk person.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Right,
hard.
all the time.
Staffing's hard right now.
It's really
right?
hard for everybody. Yeah.
And at the flip side is that we hear our colleagues, oh, this is terrible. Oh, it's awful. Oh,
They don't treat me right. They don't
Right.
do this,
So
or
much.
Yeah.
So I would like to flip this conversation and be a little more proactive, almost like the preventative hygienist that we are.
Yes.
Let's be
Preventative and retention employees.
Something like that,
retention,
yes.
Preventative. We have to
what's that called? Yeah, preventative
Attrition.
team building. I don't know.
Yeah.
Inanyway, but
Proactive.
proactive.
Yes.
So I want to talk about what are some ways that you think
Yeah.
that teams can do a better job of just retaining
Yes.
the peeps that you got.
Well, I will say that I think one of the biggest things is gratitude. Being
Huge.
like
Huge.
people want
And not
to
just
know-
thank you.
not
Not
just thank you.
Thanks, Tina.
Hey, but like being specific, like, wow, you really went out of your way
Yeah.
for Mr. Smith with
Yep.
that care,
Yes.
and you went above and
Yes.
beyond. Thank you so much. That's
Yes.
the kind of provider we want to have here in our practice.
Absolutely.
Those types of things,
Hands
like
down.
showing gratitude,
Yeah.
being specific about it.
Huge.
And yeah, like you said, not just a pat on the back, but hey, you know what? I brought coffees in for everybody.
Right?
Like I know that your favorite is a
Wait, like
caramel macchiato.
Wait, you know something about me?
Right. Well, I know you're
but-
you're a regular latte gal.
Right. But that's so,
Yeah.
like, to have somebody know something. I'll never forget, Tina, one time I was working in an office when we lived up in the DC metro area. And the dentist wrote me a letter and mailed it to my house.
Oh.
And it was just like a little note card, and it just said, like, hey, I see everything you do for my practice.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to thank you for doing that. And I was in this practice one day a week. I worked there Mondays,
Yeah.
right? But I got to tell you, man, that next Monday, I went in and I wanted to do the next thing. Like, I had been working on redoing their medical history because it was crappy medical history. Anyway, so I'd been working on that.
Right.
And he saw that I was doing
Yeah.
that, appreciated that I was doing that,
Yes.
and then took the time to
That's
write
what
it
it
up on paper.
It's taking that time.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that also goes into like, the love languages, understanding how
Yes.
does your team
Yes.
like some people
Right.
are gifts, some people
Right.
are words. So
Yes, I'm totally words.
I would tell any employer, like, just kind of do a quick assessment. Like, how does your team feel appreciated? Is it words? Is it gifts? Is it, all these
Right.
extra things?
Yeah.
So, like the doctor I used to work with, he knew that my favorite donut was a Boston cream. And so he always made sure that I had a Boston cream donut anytime you went for a donut run. And it was just like, it is those
But he
little
knew
things.
you. He took the time.
Yeah.
Another
sure.
thing that I would say that I love.
Yeah.
And this is a concept I actually learned from Dental Post.
Yeah.
I learned in a blog. I think it's been out for a couple years. I'm sure we can find a way to link it.
Probably, yeah.
But they talked about conducting stay interviews.
Oh, yes.
So instead of reviews, we're not talking reviews. This is very different. This isn't the review where you sit down and be like, so Tina, you haven't been really hitting your KPIs and this is what, no.
Yeah.
This is really a time where the employer sits and listens and asks some really great questions like, Tina, do you have some goals for the year? What would you like to achieve? Where would you like to see your career go? Tina, what can we do in this office
Yes.
to make things better for you, or what can we provide for you? And taking the
And
time.
what are the areas in our office that we can improve as a whole team?
Absolutely.
Like, right?
Yes. And so I really think at the very least an annual, again, not a review. It needs to be a separate, because a review is tense.
It is tense.
It's a little like, I don't know, going in and seeing the
Being
principal.
graded, right?
Right? It is. But this stay interview is really about, like, it's how do you feel about our office, and how can we make sure that we are continuing to stay aligned?
Yes.
And I think that's missing in dentistry. And when I read about that, I was like, that is a genius concept.
It is. And especially when we have people who have been at an office for 10, 15 years, and there might be some turnover
Yep.
and a new person comes in.
Yep.
And then like a a new puzzle piece can change the dynamic.
Yeah.
And so having those stay interviews and being a part of that, like, where are we going? What's the vision? Are we still on the same track?
Yep.
It makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I think one of the other things that comes up on a regular basis that I hear is for these long-term retained employees is that when a new person comes on, oftentimes they're getting paid more than the veteran employee.
Right. Because you needed to lure
You're
in
like, here's
the
the
new
carrot.
person,
So,
right?
But how about what happened to like retention rewards and bonuses?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, so when you started, maybe you were started at $35 an hour,
Right.
and now you're up to 40, but the new grad coming in is making 60 an hour.
Well, man, that's a big difference.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
But I've heard these stories.
I have
so
too.
I don't
Well,
blame them I don't blame somebody going, well, why would I stay?
And if I think about, past jobs that I had, past roles I had in
Yeah.
offices where really there was one office that I worked at, gosh, I can't even remember, Tina. I think it was like 12 years.
Yeah.
And I don't remember that I ever actually got a raise. Like you
Right.
made this certain dollar amount an hour and
Yeah.
and it didn't change. And I think you make an excellent point.
Yeah.
And not that I want to make it all about money, but it's really about if I found out that a brand new grad that didn't have the relationship and didn't have the connection and didn't have the what's the word I'm looking, the commitment,
Yes.
the commitment
Yeah.
to this office was all of a sudden making more money than I was, like that's really like it hurts
And
in
well,
my
it goes
heart.
back to the gratitude.
Yeah.
Then you must not be grateful.
Right.
Like then you just don't feel like you have
Right.
purpose. The gratitude is just isn't there.
Now, I will say though, Tina, sometimes people think they're making more money because they see more in the hourly.
Right.
But it's really important that we need to remember as employees,
Yeah.
the benefits that we get. Because
Yes, absolutely.
benefits cost some dollar bills.
Yes. Especially like even just something as simple as paid time off.
Absolutely.
That's still money
Yep.
that has to be
Yes.
taken
Yep.
out of the budget.
Health care,
Mhm.
paid CE,
Yes.
things like that. So like let's say you see somebody that comes in and like often I was the person that came in and worked one day a week because
Yeah.
we had little kids and running around and so I would just come in and out, zero benefits.
Right.
I didn't get anything.
So your hourly in my mind would be higher.
And so yeah, if you saw my hourly, like somehow that came out and then you're like, wait, but my hourly's lower and I work 5 days a week. But you need to also remember what else does that look like?
Yes,
Because
yes.
your 401k with the match and all those kind of things that does cost money and it does benefit you greatly.
Right.
So it's not as simple as the hourly rate.
I agree. I totally agree. All right. So to sum it up, sounds like we have gratitude,
Huge.
basic communication.
Yeah.
Doing the stay interviews, having a conversation of how are things going? What does it look like? What else am I missing?
And then understand what your hourly wage is,
Mhm.
what that really means.
Yes.
What that really means.
And, and I think one way we can really look at that is looking at the salary survey that Dental Post has.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
you can have an idea. Am I within that industry standard?
Right.
Even?
Yeah.
And where is there wiggle room? And it can really spark that conversation as well,
Absolutely.
between employer and employee.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is. Go get that salary
Good one.
survey.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
Download it.